Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
I think that this world, it needs men that are willing to make the hard call.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Ain't no thing like me, except me.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Maps come with me. No. When do we start?
Hey, welcome back. Here we are in the basement to make a show.
Ice Station Zebra.
I feel a little off. We're doing this a day later than we normally do, so it's like I've already forgotten how to talk to a microphone.
And
some would argue I never knew how.
Well, that's a good point. We have been for some time doing it a day early because of my basketball season. So now we're all screwed up. It's
yeah, we're a day late due to a sleet storm.
That was nasty. It was nasty stuff. It was like wet sand.
Yeah, but it's gone. We survived the tiny amount of sleeting.
Sleet Storm 2017.
Enough that it was
we will
annoying.
rebuild.
Yeah. We'll all survive. Do we have any news? Anything pre-news? Anything exciting happen in your life?
No, not really. The Patriots going back to the Super Bowl. Very excited about that. I'm wearing my Patriots hat to the podcast tonight.
Everyone can see it.
Yes. Oh, I just broke 10,000 steps for the day on my Fitbit when I did a fist pump. Although I take my Fitbit off at practice, so it doesn't get it kind of negates the point of having a Fitbit, I guess. So I've definitely had crossed 10,000 steps well before now.
I think it's a liar. It's not counting steps. It's counting arm swings.
Well, then I've swung my arm.
How accurate is it?
It's actually not too far off, to be honest. It's actually a decent little piece of technology.
I feel like someone with a wide stride would.
Well, I can sync it to my phone's GPS, and it can measure that way. It's actually relatively accurate.
This is a crazy man's life you're living.
Yes, it is. I would rather be known for being crazy than boring.
Oh, there you go.
Eccentric, I think, is more of the word I'm looking to use.
I think we got a big one. Maybe we don't. I don't know. We'll just dive into it and see what it comes out with.
What does that even mean? A big one? What are we, fishing?
Yes, we're fishing for listeners.
All right.
Speaking of listeners, if you subscribe to our Patreon, normally we release the show a day early.
It's true.
And some other fun bonuses. Go on the Patreon so we can buy new microphones.
Mm-hmm.
And a mixer.
Mm-hmm.
And some other stuff.
Yeah.
We want to be better. Help us be better. Into the news!
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
Star Trek Discovery will be getting a familiar father.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. Wow, I said that all wrong. I don't know if I'm going to cut this. Do I leave it? Do I cut it?
I think you leave it.
We'll see. I'm going to leave a nice little pause. Okay. Star Trek Discovery will be getting a familiar face.
Yes, a father, in fact.
In fact, it is. Spock's daddy.
A little Sarek. I like it.
He's going to be there. Different guy. They've all gotten... I think this is the third guy who's been cast. They all look roughly the same.
Pointy ears, stoic.
Kind of dead-eyed.
Yes. Not really. Doesn't emote very much.
Seems like an easy role. Don't react.
Can I ask you a question, speaking of Star Trek?
You might.
Just your general feeling about... So whenever I drive by the store, there's you with your Superman flag, and then your neighboring shop flies a Klingon flag. How does this make you feel?
I had some people come in the other day. They're like, what is that out there? I'm like, Klingon. They're like, oh, okay, and then they left.
Oh, that's it? They couldn't even stop to buy a comic?
Where was I? Oh, yeah. Spock's father. Yeah, whatever. He's back. Again. For the third time. Yay.
Well, so do you think we'll get any Spock, or we're just going to get some...
I'm sure there'll be hints.
Maybe a young Sarek who's starting out his ambassadorial role to the planet Earth.
He could. That could be. We never really saw that. He just kind of talked about it before.
Yeah. And maybe how he meets Spock's mother.
What's her name? The lady.
Mrs. Spock.
Yes. Spock's mom. Thanks for the lemonade and cookies, Mrs. Spock.
Yes, exactly. Because, you didn't know your friend's mother's name until later on in life. So it was always like, thanks, Timmy's mom.
When I was a kid, I never knew how to address adults, so I never said their names. Ever.
Thanks, you.
I found a workaround. I think once I had to say a name and it really bugged me. Only once.
Why? What bugs you about saying somebody's name?
Just when I was younger, I didn't know how to address adults because I'm like, we're not really on a first name basis.
Did your parents not teach you? I'm sure that your parents taught you. I'm sure Karen taught you the manners.
No, I would just find a way not to say it.
So this isn't really on your parents not teaching you. This is you just not accepting it.
I was like, do we we're not on a first name basis. I still don't do it. I don't refer to people by name. That's kind of a game now. I was trying not to just ever say people's names.
Oh wow, we have to work on your people skills.
I gotta entertain myself.
We have to work on your people skills. You run a small business where you have to interact with people.
Spider-Man animated movie is coming out, but it's gonna be a little bit different.
Does he not shoot web?
Well, it's gonna be a different Spider-Man, the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, Miles Morales, the half black, half Latino Spider-Man.
All right, I like it.
I say buy this movie, and more because I think it's a trial run.
When is it coming out?
I don't remember. I mean, there's still, I don't know if there's a date on it yet. But I think this is more of, we're not going to spend like big movie money to see if people will go for this. We'll just spend animated money and, you know, test. This is a test run.
Kind of like DC does with all their movies.
Oh my God. Boo.
You know it's true. Search your feelings, Zach. You know it to be true.
Comic books are a testing ground for movies these days.
Well, as long as you can make money off of it, right?
But yeah, I say this is one to at least support, to show that there's something out there so you're not just repeating the same character over and over, the same story over and over again. And just to show interest and, hey, not a white guy.
Go on.
That's about all I have to say. I say just support the movie. I mean, if it's bad, I mean, I hope it's not, but if it's something that's getting some decent reviews, check it out. Just, not that I mind Peter Parker, but...
Are you going to watch it?
Yeah. I don't know how I'll watch it.
You'll find a way.
I might just Redbox it.
There you go.
I mean, all these animated movies end up in Redbox. Yes, that's the cheap way to do it, but it's usually the way I go about it.
Well, it's not being cheap, it's being economical.
What else happened this week? The Power Rangers had a trailer.
Trailer number 2. We actually get to see them in costume now.
It's super boring. Looks really generic.
Looks like a regular episode of Power Rangers.
People still love Power Rangers. That's the only reason I'm really mentioning it. Because there's a rabid fan base for that.
Is it really?
People love it. Oh yeah, it's hardcore.
I
There's
was
a huge
unaware.
fan base.
I
for
remember
Power
when it was
Rangers.
big in the 90s.
It's still massive. I mean, they're mostly. I don't know how. Honestly, I have no idea how kids receive it, but I know like there's still a huge adult fan base.
Well, I mean, most of the people now that are adults were fans of it when it was first coming out in the 90s.
Every show that I go to, there's always like at least a Power Ranger from some era since it's been out for like the last 20 years, and there's always a massive crowd.
Because there was like different variations. Like there was the original Power Rangers, and there was like Ultra Power Rangers.
Yeah, I don't know what they were, but
Super Zord Power Ranger, Dinobot.
yeah, like Super Ninja. I don't know.
No,
But yeah, I mean, they draw a huge crowd. I've actually lost track of what show Power Rangers are at that I'm working. I'm signed up for like 4 more cons, which is nice. I've lost track of what guests are at what show though.
Oh, I never really got into Power Rangers. Of course, I didn't have cable growing up, so
I don't think it was on cable. It was on Fox, I think.
no, I think it was on. Well, I didn't have Fox either. I had like CBS, ABC, PBS, occasionally NBC. If you could like get the antenna to.
I don't remember. Either way, the only reason I even watched this trailer, I think it was like, oh, Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
Some of his early roles were playing monsters on Power Rangers, and I think this is just more of his, like, hey, thanks for the early work kind of nod.
Is he the face?
Yeah.
What's the face's name again?
Zordon.
There we go. Thank you.
I've seen that guy at a show. There's like a Power Ranger and everything.
Wow. So this floating head was just kind of going around?
Well, he has a body in real life.
Oh, okay.
But he was a bald man.
Oh, well. You should be bald, because right now your coif is out of control.
I have so much hair right now. But yeah, it looks really generic. I don't care about this. I have no idea what the numbers are going to be. Like, is it... I don't know if there's a big enough fan base just to, like, pull people just on the namesake alone, but I'm not going to watch this.
I think you'll see probably, like, TMNT numbers.
Ew. Those aren't good numbers.
No, or you know, the second iteration of Ninja Turtles when they rebooted it again.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where you'll see it, kind of in there, or like, you know, Ninja Turtles Out of Shadows. I think it'll be in that neighborhood.
More exciting news, or I guess, we'll see, probably, maybe. The Rock came out, said he'd had a meeting with DC a couple of weeks ago, and then it was announced that there's going to be a Black Adam solo movie. Black Adam is a villain character, so DC doing another villain movie, because that's gone well so far.
Where are the good guys, DC? I guess you got Justice League, you had Batman v Superman. Where are the really good movies?
We'll see. I mean, The Rock, we've sung his praises before. He's usually in terrible movies, but he's charismatic.
Oh my god, is he good? I love The Rock.
I guess this isn't going to cancel out the Shazam movie that's still going to be taking place simultaneously. We'll kind of see how that works out, but whatever. Black Adam solo movie, The Rock in a supervillain or kind of gray character role works for me.
Is there anyone who works harder than The Rock in Hollywood right now? Like, he's always filming something.
I think, isn't Kevin Hart, isn't he like number one for taking in the most money? I think he got paid the most last year. I think it was Kevin Hart.
I don't know, but it's like he's in a movie, like making a movie every 6 months. He's
With
like
Kevin
in a
Hart.
movie. Yeah, well,
Actually, I want to watch that one. I haven't seen it yet. I think it looks funny.
Oh, which one?
Central Intelligence.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. It's in Redbox. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to.
Baywatch looks good.
Speaking of The Rock, there was some Jumanji controversy this week.
Oh, yes. Please go on.
With
I
The
think I
Rock.
saw something about this on Instagram.
Yeah, it looks. There's a photo of the cast released that has your 3 male stars, including The Rock, and Karen Gillan, who was Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy and was on Doctor Who for a few years. There's this big uproar that like she's in a scantily clad outfit. I'm like, how's scantily clad? I'm like, okay, it's like midriff and she's wearing shorts. And like, look at her compared to her fully clothed counterparts. I'm like, okay, this is stupid. And she says there's a reason that her character is dressed like that, and you'll see it in the movie. But I'm like, all right, so she has worked out and she has abs. Then I'm like, compared to her like fully clothed counterparts, there's a fat guy who's covered head to toe, and then there's The Rock, and he's like open shirt with like all of his sleeves rolled up to like show off his arms as much as humanly possible. I'm like, so that guy over there, we're showing off as much muscle as we can without just taking his shirt off.
Oh, I'm sure that
And
Rock.
she's showing off abs. Like, what's the big deal?
I'm sure that The Rock will be shirtless at some
I'm
point
sure
in
he
this
will,
movie.
but I was just going off of the one picture that people are mad at. I'm like, what?
Dude, if I were built like The Rock, I would only I'd wear shorts and a tie, just a tie, no shirt.
It was just one of those, like, okay, so we're showing off that she worked out and showing off that The Rock worked out. Why is no one mad at The Rock? Like, he's showing his biceps.
He's been showing his biceps for the better part of 25
I
years.
know, but it was dumb. I think it's a dumb thing to get mad at.
Yes, probably.
It's not like she was like walking out like, here's this child's movie where this actress is fully nude. So it's
Or like wearing like the Princess Leia slave outfit, and
Yeah,
everyone
it's
else is
like-
wearing like a suit and tie.
like there's a midriff. I'm like, all right,
Everyone has belly buttons. Everybody.
she has worked out. Good on her. But that was dumb.
I wouldn't dare show my midriff right now.
And I think that The Rock should show his arms off.
Attaboy. Why not? I would.
I'm like, maybe more than the girl. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me.
It says that you enjoy, beefy biceps.
With a lot of baby oil.
Well, you got to make it glisten. It's,
Star Wars news.
Oh, yes, please.
Well, you know what it is. The
Oh,
title was released.
Yeah, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
So what were the rest of them doing?
Dying.
Oh, good point.
They all got killed. So this is the second generation of Skywalkers to be responsible for all of the Jedi dying.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't
They're
thi-
bad. I didn't have anything to do with it. I'm not a Skywalker.
Are these like bringing balance to the Force, murdering the good half of it? I'm not sure what it is.
But really, it doesn't raise some interesting questions. Who is the Last Jedi? Is it
Luke.
Luke Skywalker?
Yeah,
or is it going to be...
No, the director came out. It's Luke.
Oh, well, duh. Well,
Well, there we go. Question answered.
but does it now mean, like, he's training Rey to be a Jedi? So does that mean,
I don't know. That doesn't work out very well. Every time they
that
have
is
Jedi, they all
one
die.
Jedi? Or is he not going to train her and say, no, we're just going to, bring balance to the Force by killing Snoke and Kylo Ren and...
I don't understand that when they're like in episode 7 when they were like the legend of the Jedi that everyone's forgotten and Luke Skywalker's a myth. Like he went away like 10 years ago. Hasn't been that long. Has he fallen into myth in 10 years?
I mean, it's possible. It's
Yeah.
very
It
possible.
just seems like a short amount of time. But yeah, Last Jedi.
Oh,
I don't really care about the titles.
I came across something as I was kind of looking into like the name, The Last Jedi. Did you ever know where they got Kylo Ren from? Kylo.
I guess
The
not.
KY is from Skywalker and the LO is from Solo. So
Okay.
Skywalker Solo, Kylo.
There we go. All right, I believe that. That works.
There you go. See, I brought something to the show today.
But yeah, there's a title. I don't really care.
It kind of just adds some intrigue. I'll be interested to see the first teaser trailer, which we probably won't see for another couple of months anyway.
Yeah, you almost could get away with not releasing one.
Oh, come on. You have to release a trailer at some point
I
between
mean-
now and Christmas.
I mean, they will, but I bet they could get away with not doing it. That it would still crack 1 billion.
Yeah, but I think people want to see...
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah,
but
they
still,
got to get a little something. They got to get fired up. They kind of want to know what they're going into.
they could just throw up the title Star Wars and then just have like nature footage. Like there's a giraffe eating from a tree, and people would still go see like Star Wars.
Fair enough. Well, the original trailer was just like, a guy talking over this vast field of stars.
Luke Skywalker. Oh, that was the Jedi one. Yeah.
No, but like
Star Wars.
Yeah, coming to a galaxy near you, and it blows up, and it's people like, what is this movie even gonna be? And then it just became amazing.
Star Wars. Sad news. Oh, so sad of news. Terminator's back.
Oh boy.
Boo. But then I went, oh.
And then you booed again.
No, then I was like, could it be good? The director they're going to have is going to be Tim Miller, the Deadpool director. And the rights have reverted back to James Cameron.
So there's that.
So he's going to be overseeing the movie, and the Deadpool director will be doing it. So it's like, hey, could it be good?
We'll find
I
out.
feel like I've been burned too many times.
Well, you keep going back to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
They go better. It's doing okay right now. I haven't watched the last two, but it got better.
Well, that's good. That's always a good thing. You're saying it kind of in a question like, it got better? Maybe?
Look, I'm not saying that it's like great television, but it's at least not currently torturous.
Reasonable. I accept that.
Which is a big step up, but I don't know. Those two names, those are good names.
James Cameron knows how to make movies, and it's his franchise.
I think if he went back and said, those last three movies, we're scrapping them. This is a time travel thing anyway, it doesn't even matter.
I wouldn't put it past him.
If they just followed up Judgment Day, roll with that. Forget the other ones.
As an alternate universe.
Or reboot it, I don't know. 1 and 2 tell a complete story. I don't know where there is to go. And we've seen 3 or 4 attempts, if you want to count the TV show, 4 separate attempts that have all not been good.
Well, 5th time's a charm.
We'll see. I don't know. I was like, Terminator. God, I was like, oh, but the name's on it.
It could be better than Genesis.
Farting into a paper bag is better than Genesis.
Wow. That's bold. Would you rather fart into a paper bag and smell it yourself or watch Genesis again?
Definitely the fart one. That one's over like that.
Wow. Would you rather have someone else fart into your paper bag and then make you smell their fart?
Again, quick. It's done quickly.
No, you have to like hold it up to your face for a minute.
Still shorter than 2 hours.
Wow. You're a sick man.
And then we're just the rest of the episode, well, I guess with the exception of the letter, we're talking about Wolverine. So let's finish off with some Wolverine news, and then we'll get into the comic origin.
Shing shing.
Speaking of that, it came out that the movie is going to be rated R.
No way.
For intense violence and brief nudity.
Not the 2 F-bombs in the Red Band trailer.
That already crossed the line.
What?
They already would have had to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're going for the hard R.
They are for the brief nudity without briefs, I assume.
I'm guessing we're gonna see like a naked Logan.
Seen it before, we'll see it again.
Yeah.
Actually, someone came in this week.
Some Logan dong.
I hope not. We won't. No, that won't happen.
But you can't get rated R just for seeing someone's butt.
Well, you can have other things that all add up to the R.
Titanic was PG-13 and you saw Kate Winslet's boobies.
Oh, there you go. No, someone came in this week. They're like, I just listened to your clip show thing. They're like, I couldn't stop laughing. It was the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well, see, somebody enjoyed it.
Like, you should get a t-shirt made that says hard R.
Wow. Well, my last name is Richmond. I could start with an R. It could be hard. By the way, funny story. I forgot to tell you this. So we had a basketball game on Saturday at Wiscasset. And I'm talking. There's a group of people sitting in front of me. And I'm talking to some people behind me. And then I'm out in the hallway. What?
It's bacon.
Why is there bacon in your whiskey?
There was bacon for dinner.
What just happened?
Deliciousness just happened.
You just fished out a piece of bacon out of a glass of whiskey and ate it. I don't know what that says. Anyway.
It says it was saturated.
This is the power of the show, right? Oh, gosh. The power of the show. Person that was sitting in front of me. I'm walking in the hallway, and I cross paths with them at the school, and they go, "Are you on the Editor's Note podcast?" I'm like, as a matter of fact, I am. They're like, "Oh, your voice is very familiar." I'm like, "Oh, well, thanks for listening." It's
You just like apologize and give them $5.
I should have said, "Hey, what'd you think of the clip show?" And then he punched me. Then he knocked me out and stole my wallet and left a note in it saying, "Never do a clip show again."
Yeah, so Logan's going for the R, maybe even the hard R. Also, Hugh Jackman came out this week, said that Logan is going to take place in a slightly different universe than all the other X-Men movies. But then the director came out and said, not really. It's not exactly what we're doing. We're just taking 5 years beyond anything else. But
So beyond anything else would maybe be the events after Days of Futures Past?
yeah, so it's like 2029, I think, is the year. But then this was on Twitter, and someone's like, but he said slightly different. Like, right, Specs like, slightly different? That's what people are upset about? Worry about something important.
I mean, it would make sense for him to say a slightly different universe than anything you've ever seen because the events of Days of Futures Past.
Well, it doesn't, whatever. The movie, it doesn't matter. All these movies have terrible continuity anyway. They all basically take place on separate universes anyway. It doesn't, I mean, they don't work as a film series.
No, which there's a great article on What Culture about that, if you should happen to come across it.
God, the article that broke my brain and my soul. But, speaking of Logan, we got our second trailer this week.
It was sexy.
It looks really good. I'm excited about this movie. It looks different. So we'll just kind of go through piece at a time. Piece at a time? What am I doing? I just keep on using wrong words.
Well, because you're eating whiskey bacon.
I've had like 3 sips.
But the bacon has been sitting. It's been stilling in the whiskey.
So, trailer opens up. We have X-23, who is just eating and drinking in a convenience store, and she almost kills a clerk. He's like, you gotta pay for that.
The hell she does.
Yeah, apparently she's cool with murder over that. So I guess Old Man Logan is more like full apocalypse, or at least far, far gone. I guess we're not dealing with like a full apocalyptic future because there's still a level of currency and a working convenience store. Like if you have a guy like working a counter, not a full apocalypse.
No, but I'm sure it's probably some sort of, it's on the verge of being a dystopian type future.
Then Wolverine comes in, steals some cigars that are just sitting on the counter and walks off.
It's Texas. You can tell by the I Heart Texas keychain.
Yeah, they said they're on
keychain.
They're on the Mexican border, which apparently is in Texas. Can you sell tobacco just on a counter? Is this part of this new future? This dystopian future where you can just sell tobacco on a counter?
Hey, less regulations, so why not?
Apparently.
Yeah. Have at it.
I basically plotted out this entire movie. I'm not going to spoil the movie.
You've kind of spoiled it for yourself.
I spoiled it for you.
Yeah, asshole.
I'll
forget about it.
I basically know everything but the third act.
Aren't you so smart?
I worked on it. And then I'm not going to do anything with it. I like to do this just to I like to write it all down, then go into a movie and see how close I am.
Whatever happened is
we all have different hobbies.
I guess, I don't know if I call this a hobby. It sounds more like, a form of masochism.
It's like a beautiful mind.
Except for you can't do math.
There is that part of it, yeah. Except the math part. We see some X-Men comics in it.
That's pretty cool.
It showed on the cover we see Sauron, who's a psychic pterodactyl from the Savage Land. He wears tiny pants.
Huh. I like how you have to quantify it that he wears tiny pants.
Mm-hmm. Inside the book itself, you can see Gambit, Cyclops, Colossus, Storm, Rogue, and Wolverine. And these pages were done by real-life Marvel artist Joe Quesada and inked by Dan Panosian. Yeah, okay.
So, do you need a new space bar on your computer?
Well, that was just that's not in the book. That came out later. Those were the guys that did it. And they were showing what looks like to be about 1980s kind of style comics. And usually on those books back in the 80s, there's be a banner across the top to say Marvel's Comics Group. Mm-hmm. But in this one, because they're not really under that title, it says X-Men Comics Group, which I thought was funny. And then we got some Patrick Stewart, Professor Xavier, wearing a fun hat.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that fun hat.
It's a nice little fedora.
I like his hat.
It's a nice little fedora. He looks like an old man.
I'm going to skip around some of this just because that kind of spoils the order of things. But this trailer is not shown in order, as most trailers aren't. We see a little bit more of the Reavers with what's going on with them.
What are Reavers, by the way, for those of us who don't know?
Reavers are X-Men villains that are cyborgs. They basically just enhance themselves a piece at a time. The main Reaver we see he has a replaced arm in this, but eventually his character will become everything. I don't know if they're going to do it in the movie or not, but he becomes literally everything but he keeps his face.
Oh.
And nothing else. There's another one that he replaces the lower half of his body with tank treads.
That's fantastic. That's, would have been good for yesterday to get around in the weather.
Mostly what we see is them replacing arms. There's one guy who has a gun for a hand. It's It's not an effective hand.
No,
a
you can't
gun.
really open. I mean, yes, you could open doors. It's not really a good way to
But
like.
you can
shake
open
hands with
like
people.
a jar of pickles,
You could shoot the top off the jar of pickles and then like pick little pickle shards up.
but then you couldn't put it back together.
Well, that's
It's
you know,
problematic.
Well, what if you put the jar of pickles between your legs and open it with your good hand?
We see
What
some
if you had a friend put it in the crook of their arm?
some nice, lovely product placement. Label out, baby.
Always got to have the label out.
Ford and Cornflakes have a stake in this.
Well, why not?
Good to see that Kellogg's has survived the apocalypse.
Hey, it's the best part of Waken. It's Folgers. Sorry,
Whatever, they're all crap.
I like Folgers.
Really?
I
That's
don't
the
hate it.
worst.
It's not the worst.
That's the Bud Light of coffee.
Do you see what I'm drinking?
It all makes sense.
No, I wouldn't say that Folgers is the Bud Light of coffee.
Of course it is. It's like that and Maxwell House. It's all the same.
No, there's there's another coffee that's not very good. I'm trying to think of it.
I can't think of anything worse than those two.
Is it like 8 o'clock? Isn't that
You're thinking of the vodka? 5 o'clock
no,
vodka?
no. Like there's an 8
Also
o'clock.
terrible. Don't drink that.
I try not to drink vodka in general after some poor experiences. Here, I'm gonna Google.
Bad coffee.
Fine, I'll Google bad coffee and see if I can find. I want to say it's like 8 o'clock coffee. Yeah, there's 8 o'clock coffee. That's
Okay.
the thing. Yeah,
I'll believe you.
yeah. See right there, 8 o'clock coffee. That's I mean,
It looks bad. What we do see in here, the Reavers are working with the police and the FBI. You can, just with the vest that they're wearing, it says like Policia Federal.
I'm guessing that's probably the Mexican side of the police force.
I'd imagine.
Federales.
I'm not going to go much further into this, mostly because then I'll be getting into spoiler territory, but I do want to cover a couple of things. What we're seeing in the trailer, that we see it a few times, is we see the camera shaking really fast.
Mm-hmm.
At first, Hugh Jackman's come out and he said that in this movie, you're going to see what's generally referred to in comics as Wolverine's berserker rage.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure at first if that was supposed to just be the camera was shaking with, like, this is rage vision or something.
Ah!
Yeah, but what it is, it's Professor Xavier is having psychic seizures. That's kind of messing with his head.
Ah.
And actually, and this is just a potential theory. I don't actually think this is it, but they talk about the other trailer how all the mutants are gone. I'm thinking, like, what if he had a seizure that just offed most of them?
Like he was possible he could do with Cerebro.
Yeah, that maybe that those psychic seizures are why there aren't any mutants left. Like maybe he inadvertently killed everyone, and that's also why he seems kind of like brain dead. He's like, what have I done? But I don't know. I have no idea.
That's an interesting theory. I mean,
I don't think it's that, but I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility.
It would make sense that Logan would have survived with his healing abilities.
Yeah. We see that Laura, X-23, the 23rd attempted clone at Wolverine, already has adamantium.
Yes, but only 2 antimanium claws.
Well, she has a third one. It's in her foot.
Oh, that's a really weird place to have it.
Yeah, so, like, if she kicks.
That just makes me feel like that question, like, would you rather like get a paper cut between your fingernails or put a toothpick under your big toe and kick the wall?
Yeah.
It just hurts thinking about it.
But I don't know if they're going to have it in the movie or not. They don't use it all the time in the comics, but she does have a third blade on her foot.
Seems really inconvenient to have it down there.
But if you're kicking, it's very effective.
I guess it would be. What if it get like stuck in somebody? Like
Just kick them in the shin, and that'd be it.
it would cut right through their
A quick
leg.
shin kick. Ends the fight.
A shin-ectomy. Cut it right off.
And I did notice in this trailer there are at least 2 shots that have been changed. One of them was definitely reshoots, and one of them I think was just digital trickery. One of them we see a helicopter coming down that's going to have our main villain, Dr. Xander Rice, who is the character who's going to clone and make Laura and pass her off to a family. We see him landing, but we see the same shot being done on 2 very different backgrounds, which I think is more of a reshoot deal. I'm not sure why. But I mean, the movie will probably show it. And the more significant one is there's a shot of Xavier, the identical shot of Xavier in both movies. It's during one of the psychic seizures. It's from behind, and this is placement in the movie. This is kind of right before Act 3. I'm not going to go into it. But the difference is in trailer number 1, he's having the psychic seizure, and there are 2 Reavers to either side of him, and they both have guns pointed at him. And then in this new trailer, they've both been taken out digitally. I'm not sure what's going to end up with the final take or the final cut of the movie, but I just thought that was interesting.
Some of it may not even be in the final cut of the movie.
No, and that goes for every single trailer out there. There's always stuff that never makes it.
Or they interlace dialogue from a different part of the movie over a scene that you see.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Trailers are never 100% what you see in a movie.
No.
If it happens, it's like maybe like 2 out of every 10 trailers.
What if
Or at
someone
least not
made
for
it?
like big ones. Like if it was something like A Dog's Purpose, I bet that will probably all end up in there. But
Yeah. Or like a highly, real expensive like computer animated film. That's all going to probably end up in there because of the man hours and time spent in animating it.
is there anything else really worth? Oh, there's more to point out in the trailer, but I don't want to spoil. Except for you, I'm happy to ruin the movie.
Oh well, you already did.
You read all my notes.
No, I liked the Red Band trailer. Kind of,
Oh yeah, I should have matched up 90 years old in 2029 versus Xavier being born probably late based on what he looked like in the beginning of First Class. He'd probably place him somewhere in the 1940s. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's a
I
little
guess
too much work for me.
that's about right. I didn't think about it till just now. I thought about it before and never did it.
I like Patrick Stewart though.
So do I. I enjoy seeing him in things. His show got canceled.
Oh, Blunt Talk?
Yeah.
I never saw any of it. I heard it was really funny though.
Yeah, they made 2 seasons. Whatever. He's a funny man.
He really is. I like Sir Patrick Stewart.
If you want me to spoil the movie for you, come and ask. I'll do it.
Oh, there it is.
Down at 210 Water Street in downtown Hollowell. And a new show has been greenlit. This was announced a little while ago, but now I guess it's moving forward. There's going to be another X-Men TV series coming out that's going to be connected to the movie universe compared to the one that's about to drop that's not connected, but who knows? Not a lot of information there.
That was really informative.
Things get announced and I report on it.
Attaboy. I like it.
I'm a real journalist. I look at what other people do and then I just regurgitate.
Or are you just providing alternative facts?
Oh, God. No. But that'll do it for the news. I snuck a couple of last-second ones in. So, you know what? Let's check the internet real quick. See if there's any more news
Oh, boy. Here we
that
go.
I haven't reported on. We'll report live. We'll do it live! Oh, Bryan Singer to direct the pilot for the X-Men TV series.
Oh, well, isn't that apropos that happens right now?
Well, that's all I got.
I don't have anything else.
Live news, baby.
Nope, nobody's tweeted at me recently.
We're going to move on from the news and go into an editor's explanation. I think that's what the segment's called.
I like it.
We haven't done it in a little bit.
For if knowledge is power, then a god am.
It's time to get an editor's education.
With a couple of big movies coming up, we're going to be tackling a bit of Wolverine stuff in the next couple of months, along with another topic that we'll be kind of alternating with. We'll see what it is next week, and some other things snuck in there before March happens. But this week, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about the comic book history of Wolverine.
Tell me more. I want
Must
to
I?
learn.
Must I?
Well, you planned on it anyway.
I guess I must.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do here is talk about some of the early history, I mean chronological history, along with a little bit of the early comic book stuff. Wolverine originally premiered in Hulk number 180 in 1974.
So he premiered in Hulk?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah, as a villain. I don't know why they do this. They'll say, like, he premiered in Hulk 181. Like, okay, yeah, Hulk 181 was, like, his first, like, full issue, but his first appearance was Hulk 180. It wasn't just, like, this little sly reveal. It was, like, there's a full shot of him, like, running at the Hulk. So I say Hulk 180 compared to everyone else who says Hulk 181, probably because Hulk 181 has a better cover. And it's also, like, a issue fully devoted to Wolverine fighting the Hulk. When he looked real dumb. The costume was dumb. Wasn't good.
Did he have his sideburns?
Well, he was fully in costume. You never saw them. You don't see them for a long time. Even when he goes over to the X-Men, he doesn't take his cowl off for a good bit.
Did he have the blue and yellow cowl?
Yeah, but it had more, like, cat whiskers on it.
Kind of like,
In issue 1, I mean, obviously, he's not, or issue 2, he's not very well established. The Hulk wins the fight with, like, a glancing blow.
well, I'm not surprised. Does he get some good shots in at least?
Yeah, I mean, this started a long-standing Hulk and Wolverine rivalry that I guess it can't currently go on because Hulk's dead right now, but you know what I mean. Goes on for a long, long time.
Well, R.I.P. Hulk. R.I.P.
Thanks, Hawkeye.
It was Hawkeye who kills Hulk?
Yeah.
Good job, Hawkeye.
Bruce went to him, he's like, if I ever turn again, like, I need you to take me out. Like, he gave Hawkeye a special arrow. So he's sitting there talking, and then there's just, bam, arrow to the face. He's like, his eyes flickered green. I took the shot. And then Daredevil got him acquitted.
Well, of course he does. Justice is blind, as is Matt Murdock.
So he is.
I love the irony of it.
But in that run, he was created by Len Wein and John Romita Sr. In 1975, less than a year later, he officially joined the X-Men in Giant Size X-Men #1. The X-Men book had been gone for about 10 years at that point. Imagine that. I mean, now it's essentially, at least comic book-wise, one of Marvel's big money makers and has been for so long. X-Men wasn't doing great. They went away for about 10 years and just survived in reprints.
What brought it back? Why did people all of a sudden I want X-Men?
New creatives came on. I mean, they were popular enough in reprints. But 1975, he joined the team with Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Sunfire, the guy who dies in 2 issues, whose name I'm blanking on.
The Boomerang Kid?
No.
Well, Captain Boomerang, that was his name.
Oh, that's DC. But
yes, I know that.
The guy who's a super stereotype Native American, that guy died in 2 issues.
The Chief.
That's close to that, probably. I'm blanking on the name. But either way, huge seminal X-Men issue when Wolverine joins up. And that's just more on the comic book side of things. Speaking of just sales numbers, did you know that X-Men #1, not the actual #1, but X-Men #1, in early 90s, 92, 93-ish, is the all-time best-selling comic?
No, I did not know that.
X-Men #1, the 1990s one.
That's the all-time best-selling,
most units shipped.
Really?
X-Men holds that record. It also means that today that comic is worth nothing. You can't even give it away because there's so many copies of it out there.
List of Native American superheroes from Marvel. There's the American Avenger, American Eagle, Black Crow, Centurius of the Firm,
I don't know who that one is.
Cusick, Time Spirits,
Thunderbird. His name's Thunderbird.
Danielle Moonstar.
Oh, of the New Mutants. She's great.
Oh, let's see.
His name's Thunderbird. I remembered it.
Oh, Thunderbird? But I'm not done reading the names.
Look, you got to D. I jumped to T.
Oh well. Oh, wait, hold on. Fire Eyes, Forge, Moonstalker.
Wait, Forge is Native American?
Yeah, Cheyenne. Member of the X-Men and X Factor.
I'm well aware of who Forge is. I never knew that he was supposed to be Native
Private
American.
J. Little Bear. Red Warrior.
Someone's yelling at me of course Forge is. I didn't know.
Red Wolf.
Yep. Riddle's a good
There's
character.
3 Red Wolves. Johnny Wakely. Actually, there's more than 4. Thomas Thunderhead. That's kind of a cool name, actually.
Well, now I don't know which Red Wolf I like.
Thunderbird.
Yep.
He was an Apache.
And his brother is Warpath, who I love. Warpath's a good character.
Oh, yeah, Warpath. Also a member of the New Mutants, X-Force, X-Corporation, and X-Men.
He's going to be in the new Weapon X book.
Zachary
Coming up.
Moonhunter. Another Native American. Sitting Bullseye. That's kind of... I don't know if that's... what's your name? Sitting Bullseye. I'm not
name.
sitting near him.
Bad name.
Running Fish.
This has nothing to do with Wolverine anymore. We've derailed
Red
entirely.
Zeppelin from the Unlimited Class Wrestling Federation.
Hey, do you know roughly when Wolverine was born?
1700s.
No, you're off by a bit.
The 1920s.
You go to the middle.
1800. The 1880s.
Very specific, yes. It's like the 1880s.
Woo! Ha
Logan was originally born James Howlett. And
I think I knew that.
his origin wasn't told for a very long time. When he originally joined the X-Men, there wasn't really anything mysterious about him. He just didn't talk to people a lot. And you'll find some minor contradictions when he's first introduced. He's like, I don't know back further than my daddy's generation before me. And then we find out much later that's not even true.
Well, didn't he fight in the Civil War? Like the American Civil War?
I think his
should be a
first
little
war
more
that he fought
specific.
in was World War One.
Okay.
But I mean, for a long time when he was part of the X-Men, he just didn't talk about his past a lot. Like there's this one scene where they're going along and someone's speaking Japanese and he just talks back to them in Japanese, and Cyclops looks at him, he's like, I know you spoke Japanese. He just goes, you never asked.
Fair enough.
And that's just kind of the character he was. He had kind of a mysterious past, but it wasn't really elaborated on. It kind of got rolled out slowly, but then they kind of came up with a more of he's actually lost all of his memories and he's super old. So more what kind of counts for canon now. He was born in the 1880s under the name James Howlett. And the way that he discovered his powers, and if you've watched the X-Men Origins movie, it's relatively accurate, which is about the nicest thing I'll say to that movie, except the part where Sabretooth's his brother. That's not a thing. He's born to, a nice mother and father that love him, except wait, his father really isn't his father.
Oh no, was it the milkman?
close. It was
Did they have milkmen in the 18? I'm pretty sure they did.
it was the groundskeeper.
Ah.
His name was Thomas Logan, and his mother had an affair with good old Tommy.
Oh. You know what I just realized when you said 1880s? He was born after the American Civil War. I'm an idiot.
That's okay. You know, born to an affair. Thomas Logan kills the man that Wolverine thought was his father.
Well, that's one way to kind of, end that love triangle.
And then Wolverine, for the first time, pops his claws and kills Thomas Logan.
With his bony claws?
Yep. And then the mother, in her distress, kills herself.
Well, this is just not
So
going
such a
well.
happy origin.
Not going well at all
Nothing
for
like
Logan.
two dads being killed and a ma killing herself.
Very Oedipus-like, except for he didn't sleep with his mom.
No, he doesn't. But he does run off to the woods. I'm going to kind of not go for every beat for beat detail, because since he kind of came out in 75, they've been continuously filling in wherever they can find a gap to fill in.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how small or how insignificant, trying to fill in this guy's entire ridiculous life since the 1800s. There's a lot, so I'm not going to hit everything. I'm just going to hit some of the bigger points. He runs off to the woods. He has a friend. I think her name was Rose. He accidentally kills Rose. He does weird things he gets...
Accidentally kill his friends?
Yeah. For the while, he got kidnapped by the circus and lived with the circus.
I can see that.
That's a weird thing.
What was he doing in
happens.
the circus?
Look at the ugly beast boy.
Oh, wow.
Look at that hairy man.
Is that what you're looking to do right now? Your current status?
I have a haircut scheduled. It's been a while.
I would say a haircut and a beard trim would do you well.
No, the beard stays.
Wow. What, I mean, is it like a...
Until we get to warmer weather.
Oh, wow. You're just going to let it continue to grow until...
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Oh, wow. This is...
Usually until I get bothered, that's when I'll trim it.
Wow. It's bothering me because you're stroking it in a way that's very off-putting.
You can just get in there. It's long and deep.
I've been there. Remember when I had the fist?
I don't think you've been this long.
I was about that long. It was...
Yeah, when you tried to compensate for the lack of a chin with just hair on it.
I don't have a chin. That's why I have a beard.
Wolverine eventually leaves the circus and he finds a lady.
Oh, good for him.
She's also a mutant.
Well,
but
hey, there's somebody for everybody.
So Wolverine and Sabretooth, they have a long history together, and part of what that history is Sabretooth had a brother. And that brother tried to turn Wolverine over to Mr. Sinister, who isn't Mr. Sinister yet. He's still Nathaniel Essex, who... Whatever, we're not going to get into that.
Well, wasn't there in Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister was in that?
Apocalypse makes Nathaniel Essex Mr. Sinister.
Which we don't really get anything from. Maybe we do some in this movie. I don't know.
No, we don't.
So that cutscene pretty much...
means nothing.
That was a waste.
Yep. Except the gathering of the blood. But as far as it being a hint to Mr. Sinister, that's not happening apparently.
Oh, okay.
But Victor Creed's brother, or Sabretooth, sells him out to Mr. Sinister, so Wolverine kills the guy for selling him out. Then Sabretooth, he's like, yeah, that's not going to fly. I'm also a feral mutant with claws. I'm going to kill your lady.
A feral mutant. Wow.
But not only does he kill Silver Fox, he kills her on Wolverine's birthday.
Well, that's thoughtful.
Well, he continues it. So every year after that, every birthday beyond that, Sabretooth attacks Wolverine on his birthday and tries to kill him.
I feel like you lose the element of surprise.
Well, that's part of it. He's like, you can't have a good day. You know it's coming.
Oh. Do you think Wolverine could find a way to maybe just hang out at Xavier's mansion?
Well, there was that time he cut off Sabretooth's head and sent him to hell.
That sounds like a decent day for Wolverine.
Yeah, the murder. That was really good. The murdering was good. So yeah, Silver Fox, who was a mutant, got murdered by Sabretooth, and Sabretooth pops up once here to be like, remember that lady I killed? I'm going to try and kill you now. I failed again.
Oh, boy.
Like you mentioned before, Wolverine does have an extensive military background. He fought in World War I. After World War I, he went to Japan. He hung out in a lot of Southeast Asia. There's a made-up area called Madripoor, which I'll mention again later. While he was in Japan, he got himself a boy. Well, a son.
Okay.
He's a progressive guy. You don't know.
Well, I'm not... I was just... The way you said it was very...
Wolverine has a lot of... He's fathered a lot
He went to Southeast Asia and got him a boy.
He got himself a wife and a kid. He didn't know about the kid, though.
Did Sabretooth come and try and kill his wife and kid?
No.
Oh.
But,
Did they die a terrible death?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, boy.
Well,
Let me guess.
I don't remember how the mother died, because his son's name was Dakin or Daken. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Dawkin! No, not the rock group Dawkin.
That could be how you pronounce it.
Okay, cool.
But he didn't pop up until, let's say, 2008-ish, 2009, so he's a relatively new character. I don't remember how the mother died, but then Wolverine had to drown his own kid.
What?
He's a dark character.
He's not very cheery.
He like drowned him like in a puddle.
Why?
He had to die. The kid was crazy and murdery. So he goes off, gets himself a boy, doesn't know about said boy. And he goes off to fight World War II. Like he's there like right after D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
People have a lot of fun writing stories of like World War II stories of Wolverine and Captain America teaming up. You know,
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Post World War II, he did a bunch of stuff. I'm really just going to skim forward a little bit.
Yes.
Post World War II, he gets captured by the Weapon X program, which we're all familiar with by now.
Because this is where he gets his adamantium.
Yep. At this point, he has bone claws. Now, for a long time in comics history, it wasn't known that he only had bone claws. Like, he's just always had the claws, and it was never,
Yeah.
really elaborated on. Well, we knew that the claws were added, but no one knew that there were bone underneath them. They just thought the claws were part of the experimentation until Magneto rips it all off of his body, like through his skin.
His entire skeleton or just the claws?
All the adamantium, like through his entire skeleton.
That sounds horrific.
It's torturous. It's nasty when it happens.
Well, I'm sure
But
having the adamantium put in him was also torturous and nasty.
Yeah, but at least that was like a medical procedure. This was just like...
See, I thought his skeleton was replaced with adamantium.
No, it's coated.
Oh.
And so Magneto ripped that whole coating off and like out of his skin. So you could just see it like coming out, like exploding out in like 100 different spots, and like he's screaming and stuff.
Well, I mean, I would too. I would probably also die.
But then they were like, bone claws. He had claws all along.
Does he get his adamantium back after that?
Yeah. After a
In
bit.
another painful procedure?
Yeah, I mean, his powers. I mean, sometimes his metal's ripped off. He loses his healing factor like every other day.
This guy has a real bad life.
Yeah, it's a rough time being Wolverine. But anyway, so he gets captured by the Weapon X program, gets his adamantium put on him, and then he runs into these characters, James and Heather Hudson. They work for a group called Department H, like evil Canadian government Department H, but they're decent people.
I don't think there's such a thing as an evil Canadian.
In Marvel there is. Don't go to Canada.
I like Canada, though.
Look, you're going to get bitten by a Wendigo. It's like a Canadian werewolf.
Oh, wow.
You're going to get hunted by Department H.
I like the thought of Molson, maple syrup, flannel, hockey.
It's scary up there. It's scary in Marvel Canada.
When's the last time you've been to Canada?
9 years?
I only have been to Canada in almost 20 years, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Wow.
But he joins Department H.
I need to get back to Canada. That's just the
Apparently.
end of the discussion.
And a little bit after that, when he's working for the Canadian government, that's when he has his fight with the Hulk. And then shortly after that, he joins up with the X-Men. But at the time, he was sent on an assassination mission to take out Xavier. But Xavier took that out of his brain, so we didn't know it. And when he was, I kind of skipped over it, but if you've watched the movies, when he was with Weapon X, that's when he lost all of his memories.
Yes.
And then he joins the X-Men, and everything's happy from there.
No.
No, not overly. Some of the stuff that we see, he was supposed to get married in Japan. We'll talk about this miniseries in a little bit. The Chris Claremont, Frank Miller series, his first mini. He goes to Japan, he's going to get himself a wife, and then they're about to get married, and she goes, "No, you're not worthy." It just leaves.
I mean, that's real life. That happens to plenty of people, I'm sure.
Well, I just spoiled that episode. Didn't think about that.
Oh, well. Oops.
Whatever. It's been out since the 80s. If you don't know it, deal with it.
And now you know.
I'm going to just hit some of the big points of Wolverine, just because beyond that, it's just, X-Men-y things.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, he thinks all of the X-Men are dead, so he goes back to Madripoor, that part of Southeast Asia, and he gets himself a secret identity.
He gets himself a lot of things. You've been using that phrase a lot. He gets himself a boy. He gets himself a wife. He gets himself a secret identity. He gets himself...
Look, he's a real getter. He's not a good giver.
Wow.
So this is the worst secret identity in all of comics. He likes to drink and fight, and he just calls himself Patch. He puts an eye patch over himself and just gets a white tuxedo like James Bond. Does nothing else. Just calls himself Patch. He's like the poster boy for mutants. Doesn't change anything. Just puts a eye patch on. He's like, "My name's Patch. I'm just gonna keep on attacking people with my adamantium claws on a regular basis, but you don't know who I am."
Listen, nobody ever said he was smart.
But I love the patch identity because it's so ridiculous.
How do you think he does it with like going through like TSA?
I think they have their own jet
Oh, well, I mean, before that,
and spaceships. Poorly.
just kind of go through, set off the metal detector, and beep, 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 beep. Yeah, can you please take change out of your pocket? It's a little more complicated than that.
Just be like, I have a pacemaker. I can't go through it.
But then they can just do like the little wand.
Things were looser in the 80s, man.
Fair enough.
Probably didn't have to worry about it.
Okay.
And now they have their own plane and spaceship. And sometimes Magneto has an asteroid. Asteroid M, come on.
For Magneto?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
One of the other things, we didn't get to see it in the movie, and it only happened for a little bit, but he does become one of the Horsemen of Apocalypse. And one of the things we didn't see in the movie...
The 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
He becomes one of them. There's, they all have specific powers. There's, like, death, pestilence...
Famine, and war.
Good job. You really... Because I wasn't going to remember those last two. And Wolverine did become the Horseman of Death.
Ah.
As I mentioned...
Where's Time? Time might be one of them.
No.
Oh, no. It is...
No, those are them, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Once they were there, those are definitely them.
I just remember them from the Metallica song, The 4 Horsemen.
Which was playing in X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Skipping forward quite a bit, Wolverine eventually gets his memories back. Real out of nowhere. It happens during the House of M storyline. And what that was is when the Scarlet Witch changed reality. And then ultimately ended up like knocking it down to only like 200 mutants in the world. But they go into this new reality like where Magneto rules, and he just pops up. He's like, got my memories! That was sudden. It was real sudden. But those just come back like in 2005.
Memories.
After that, he joins the Avengers. He doesn't lead it, but he's on that. He's been on that team for a long time now. Well, I mean, now he's dead, but when he was alive, he was a regular member of the Avengers starting in like mid-2000s. For a little while, he ran a team called X-Force. And what that was is Cyclops came to him when Cyclops was leading the team. He's like, look, man, we got to have this like happy public face, but some people got to die.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're the killer.
So you go get your little team, go get your kill team, and go kill some people, because we need some people to die.
Kill team. I like that.
Well, they were called X-Force.
Oh.
Wetworks, baby.
Oh, my.
So what was that? That was, I mean, the team changed, but originally the roster was like Wolverine, X-23, Warpath, who I mentioned earlier, and Rain Sinclair, Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane.
She's the X-Men's werewolf.
Okay.
Except her kid. She also has a kid. He's also the X-Men's werewolf. 2 generations. A bit after X-Force disbands, Wolverine and Cyclops have a bit of a falling out, and it ends up splitting everyone in 2. At this point, well, not quite yet, but basically, Xavier ends up dying, Wolverine and Cyclops go their separate ways, and Wolverine ends up becoming headmaster of a new school called the Jean Grey School.
Oh, after,
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. I was trying to think of her X-Men name.
Marvel Girl.
She had a different name.
And then it went to Phoenix.
Then the Phoenix. But she didn't really have a name in the X-Men movies. She was just Jean Grey.
Yeah, it was better than going, hey, Marvel Girl.
Oh, Marvel Girl.
Dumb name. And then, not too long ago, he died.
Old Man Logan.
Well, that's an alternate version of him.
Well, he can't live forever.
From a potential future. He lost his healing factor. He went and he attacked the Weapon X program. And then he like cut open like their adamantium deposits, and they poured onto him, and he watched one last sunset, and then it all like hardened over him, and now he's just a stupid statue.
Oh well. I mean, I guess there are worse ways
Gump.
to go. Was there like a significance in watching One Last Sunset, or is it just like,
I'm dying. I'm gonna die, so I guess I might as well just, not stay in this stingy office building.
reasonable?
And that's Wolverine, birth to death. He'll be back eventually. I mean, right now he has an alternate version of himself running around. But he'll be back.
Doing Wolverine-y things.
Yeah. I like having Old Man Logan. It's fun having this, because, I mean, part of the problem with Wolverine, and the character could be, when he's done well and done right, the character could be great, but there is certainly an oversaturation problem with him. It's like, oh, he has 2 solo books, he's on 3 X-Men titles, and he's on 2 Avengers books. How does he do it?
They're all doing different things, and he all looks different in each of them.
But, so I mean, getting him back down to Old Man Logan kind of, one, knocked his powers down a bit, which is always useful if characters become too invincible. I mean, Wolverine has literally become just a skeleton and then recovered like the next page. It got a bit ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, having Old Man Logan around has been fun for a bit, and I'll enjoy it for a bit longer until they eventually get rid of him and bring back original flavor Wolverine.
Sometimes you get like, to mix it up a little bit. But we all like to go back to our favorites.
It's like right now we have the McRib, and that will go away eventually.
Yeah,
And then we'll go back to...
We had the McRib. It left. It came back. It's nice to have back for a little while. It's not going to stay forever.
And that's a quick rundown of Wolverine's history. There's a lot of contradictions. There's a ton of books with him. He's definitely the most overused character in all of Marvel. But he's also a good character, so you can't... It's hard to argue.
So for reading recommendations, for someone that wants to maybe dive in a little bit more into Logan and into Wolverine, what would you recommend?
And definitely the best two solo series are going to be the original Chris Claremont, Frank Miller Wolverine series, and the Mark Millar Old Man Logan. I mean, some of the fun stuff, too, is if you go back and read the early Claremont stuff from, like, the 70s and 80s. Honestly, I like Wolverine best when he's a supporting character, usually. I as a prominent supporting character, but I think he usually works best in the supporting role. Yeah, in general, those are kind of, Wolverine in a nutshell, if you only knew him from the movies. And I'll just throw a quick little addendum out for the movies. The Wolverine Jean Grey romance thing really got amped up because of the movies. It was a little bit of a thing, but the movies really made it a bigger thing, and that's kind of annoying.
I'm sorry.
But not as annoying as that time that Wolverine had a soul patch and a ponytail.
That sounds pretty annoying.
That was brief. It was real brief. They didn't do it very long.
I can't imagine they would want
That was
to.
like 3 issues. They're
Oh.
like, ooh, get rid of that.
Get a haircut. Get a haircut. Grow a beard.
But that'll do it for our main topic. We're going to move on to letters to the editors.
Lot of questions, number one. Damn few answers.
Here's another one of your letters to the editors.
Make it so.
I'm not going to read it word for word. We'll do my traditional, I'm going to sum it up real fast.
Paraphrase.
Basically, off of memory, because I don't want to pull my phone out. The honest truth.
Thank
I
you.
don't want to look it up. But I wrote down what the gist was. With the inauguration just taking place, for comic book characters, who would you like to see for a president and vice president?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So, for this one, and I'll let you... All right, I can go first if you want.
You can go first.
I've had some time to think about it. So many characters immediately in my mind just got knocked off because of you've gone evil at some point or you've been mind controlled at some point.
Oh.
So that knocked off so many characters so fast. And the next rule I just eventually gave up on because the ones that I came up with, I just wanted to stick with them. Like, well, need to be like born an American, be at least 35, but that kind of killed my choices. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to go with what I thought.
All right.
Based on characterization, based on comic book characterization. Again, I went through a lot of characters, whether it be, Marvel, DC. I kind of just stuck with Marvel and DC. But I was thinking, like, your obvious leaders, like your Supermans or your Captain Americas or Iron Man or Black Panther, who's like run a country, or Namor, who runs an entire race of people. I'm like, all these people have gone evil at some point or been controlled at some point. I mean, the exception you could probably say would be like Superman, but you throw a piece of multicolored kryptonite his way, like so many different versions out there can make him do so many different things.
Well, you got the 25th Amendment to help you with that.
Including the pink kryptonite that turns him gay. They only did that once with good reason, because it was weird and bad. And
I remember you telling me about that.
the pink kryptonite. Never forget, because it was stupid.
Never forget.
It's so stupid. It was so bad they only did it once. But going through, like, who's been evil, who hasn't been evil, a lot of people got knocked off immediately. And the characters that I came up with, for president, I say Storm. Storm has been a goddess, a queen, and a leader of the X-Men multiple times, including for a long time when she didn't even have powers. I don't think she's ever gone evil, and she's been in many leadership roles.
Okay.
And not just of the X-Men, but of the Morlocks and the Queen of Wakanda. Yeah, my vote is for Storm. I don't think Storm's ever gone evil, and she's been a proven leader many times. Like, at one point, like, her and Cyclops have to fight for control of the X-Men, and she wins without powers. Like, Storm is a badass through and through.
Okay.
And a leader. And a goddess. And she's lived as a poor thief. Like, she has seen every aspect of human life. I vote Storm.
Okay.
But then for vice president, I was trying to think who'd be a good vice president. And this one was a little more open-ended. But then because I picked Storm, I thought I should stay in the realm of the X-Men just as a kind of familiar character. So I went with Kitty Pryde. Kitty joined the X-Men when she was 13, and she essentially for a while, like by the age of 15, was like leading a lot of the X-Men, like with characters with more experience. She kind of hopped on and became a big presence. She's about to come out as the leader of the main X-Men title relatively soon. She sacrificed herself to save the entire world. And again, I don't think she's gone evil.
Okay.
And her and Storm have a good rapport.
So does that have to necessarily be a superhero
Do
or
whatever
just a
you
comic
want.
book character?
Do whatever you want.
Because you know who would make a good president? I was just thinking of this. Pepper Potts. She's run a big corporation. She's been able to put up with Tony's bullcrap.
She became a hero in her own right. Her name is Recon?
No, but I think Pepper Potts would be a good president.
She had her own Iron Man suit.
I was also thinking Nick Fury would be a pretty good president. He wouldn't take crap from anybody. He was played by Samuel L. Jackson. Has an eye patch.
Oh, you're talking about Nick Fury Jr.
Oh, Nick Fury Jr.
Speaking of people with illegitimate kids.
Oh, wow.
Because, okay, so quick history there, and I'll let you get back to it. Nick Fury in the Marvel Universe has been a white guy forever. And then in the Ultimate Universe, they just wrote in Sam Jackson's likeness without asking him. He's like, that guy's definitely me.
Oh, yeah.
But then the movies happened, and they cast Samuel L. Jackson, and he was, does great. It's very popular, successful. So they had to find a way to introduce a black Nick Fury into the Marvel Universe and get rid of the old Nick Fury, which was very complicated. So Marcus Johnson, now Nick Fury Jr., now just regular Nick Fury, is the Nick Fury in the regular Marvel Universe, and the other one is just hanging out on the moon, chained to it.
That's kind of a really inconvenient place to be, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know who I think would be a really good president? Professor X, Charles Xavier.
But he's real big on sending children into his own personal war.
Well, that's a real downer.
Yeah, this is
Right,
why I said,
look at
when
it
I'm
this way.
running through, a lot of characters, a lot of people got nixed.
I'm trying to think of who else might be a good president. Captain America is kind of the obvious one. Steve Rogers.
But right now, he's an agent of Hydra. He got brainwashed. He's
Yeah.
not good. If he's going to be part of Hydra, which looks like the next big arc with him is going to be literally infiltrating the U.S. government as Hydra, but because now he's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. as of today.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. He got a promotion.
But he's also a Hydra agent, so he's not a good choice.
Oh, well, no. What about Hawkeye? He'd be more like a Secret Service guy. He'd be like the number one guy on the Secret Service detail.
Yeah, he's not a leader.
Tony Stark is too eccentric to be president. He'd be a good vice president. He'd be like a Joe Biden.
He also ran S.H.I.E.L.D. and did a terrible job.
Well, he also is
Caused the entire Civil War and just decided to get real punchy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Batman, Bruce Wayne, could be a decent president. He runs Wayne Enterprises. He's very charitable. And
Yeah, but that's the thing, is if he allocated his money and time properly, he could do more to help, get money into the city, create social programs, but instead, because of his own personal vendetta, goes out and punches people versus spending his time appropriately helping people on a larger scale.
wow, just poo-poo all my ideas.
I know, this is why I had to come up with Storm, and after that, I got nothing.
Well, Pepper Potts. We're going to go with Pepper Potts
All right.
as president. And
I could vote that one, because, yeah, she has had experience. She's also had time in a suit. She still has said suit. She just popped up a little while ago in that one.
and then Dick Grayson could be the vice president. Dick Grayson just does sound like
I accept this.
a vice presidential name.
He's never gone evil. He's had to step up. One of his, let's say if the president died, when Batman died, he stepped up to become Batman 2 separate times.
Trusted right arm.
He hasn't gone evil. He's led smaller teams. He's led the Teen Titans. He's led the Titans.
He never lets Batman just push him around. He always stands up for what he believes is right.
I'll take it.
There you go.
There we go. Dick Grayson is vice president.
So Potts and Grayson.
It's a good combo. I like it.
Thank you.
I support that one.
All right.
I had to run through a lot of people. I'm like, evil.
I did-
They've been evil. They've been evil. They've been evil. They've been evil.
I got mine in 5 minutes.
I had to poo-poo more than half.
True, but I eventually came to a good combination. The Dick Grayson one, that took you by surprise.
Yeah, Dick would be good. Because he's played second fiddle, but he's also stepped up when he's needed to, and he's been a team leader.
What about Wally West?
Not as much of a leader.
Barry?
He melted that one time.
That's the problem. He melted that one time.
I mean, saving the universe, it's really gross, the art.
Oh, well, and plus he has to get on the cosmic treadmill to get his exercise in.
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
Over on Patreon. Nowhere else, I don't care.
Oh, wow.
It's just Patreon.
Don't even come to the store. Just don't even bother.
I'll definitely come there. Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, editorsnotecomics.com, YouTube. I've been working on my thumbnail game. A couple of them were real bad. I thought my better one came out today. I'm going to try to fiddle around with some more stuff. I need to get more fonts. That's what I'm learning. This is a weird side thing. I'm going to do a random comic recommendation for this week because I meant to mention it up top and didn't think of it. Read the Commandy Challenge. Commandy is an old Jack Kirby creation. He was on the book for 37 issues, writing and drawing it. Commandy is like old school hardcore comics. Like if you're like into comics, you owe a lot to Commandy. It's very Planet of the Apes, but without a budget. And DC is doing 12 issues. It's going to be a maxi series. They're pulling just... For every issue, you're going to have a different artist and writer combination, and they're going to be telling a complete story. It's well worth the time. It's going to be something special. I'd say go buy Commandy.
How about just come buy Commandy from you?
Well, I mean, yes, I prefer you do it for me, but this is one of those... I'm a huge Jack Kirby fan. I'm obviously a comic fan. Like, this Commandy book... I don't care if you like Marvel, DC, whatever. You got some roots with Jack Kirby. You should be picking up the Commandy Challenge. It's going to be 12 issues. I love it. It's so good. The first issue dropped this week. Pick it up. And I guess that's all the places I am, including my store.
All right. Any sales?
No. I just had a big one.
I'm just asking.
I know when the next one will be, but I won't tell anyone.
Do we have a special phrase? Are we going to use the special phrase?
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that. We should do that. Thanks for reminding me of that thing I said. See?
There you go.
If you want to get an extra 5% off this week...
Dick Grayson for vice president.
Sure.
There we go.
I was going to do like, ring-a-ring-a-ding-dong, give me 5%. But Dick Grayson for vice president will work too.
Both of those are acceptable phrases.
Ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong, give me 5%. That's not a thing people would say to me.
No, but Dick Grayson for vice president.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
There you go.
And you're on Twitter.
Yes, at Junior Rich.
Or just find him in person and be like, hey, you!
That's true.
Are you that guy?
Are you the guy on the Editor's Note Are you on the Editor's Note podcast? Yes. Get a life.
We'll be back next week. We're going to go with another topic for something that's coming up. We'll get a few episodes worth of material out of. I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
We're going to come back to Wolverine a bit before the movie Logan 2, but we'll be back next week. I was thinking about it. I can't believe we've gone like 40-odd episodes and haven't figured off like a decent sign-off.
Dick Grayson for vice president.
Here, here.
Ring-a-ding-dong. Dong. Yeah.